Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at NVDA, AMD, and Tesla. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like these videos, go to my website, sign up, it's free, or click down here in the right-hand bottom corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And guys, if you're looking for a new broker, check out Cobra Trading. Been with these guys for a little bit over 8 years, almost 9 years actually, and great guys. Great broker, best in the business. If you're looking for a new broker, check these guys out. Give them a call. Go to a website. And just remember, tell them StockBookie sent you. All right, let's get right to the daily chart of NVIDIA. What do we have? 113, what was it? Boom, boom, 13 million on the day. $3.68 red and 2.23% down. So we had a nice up move the second day. Remember, this was by the dip. Got to get it above. Make sure everybody's conditioned because that's all they've been doing. And then boom, 3 days right back down. So right now, nothing terrible. I don't know where I'm losing. You know what? I think I have most of my stuff at my house now. But let me pull this up. Let me draw some lines in here. This was a key trend line here. Still above it, so nothing wrong. Kind of came below there, popped right back up. You know what I want to do? I want to take this down here though, Fibonacci from that level. Just want to see. Okay, so we have the 250, 382, 50, 618, 750, and then the 200 MA and all that good stuff down here. Remember, we had a great move up, got it back above the MAs, great stance, and boom, right back down. 1, 2, 3 days down, going right back into this trend line. That's going to be key. If we can get through this 50 in the trend line, this will start moving lower. We still have a gap fill right around 156.32. And we have a couple gap fills down here as well. Ultimately, we have a big gap fill down here at 139.08. That's where I think we're going to be heading to in the next, maybe couple weeks, maybe month or so. We're into a cycle, guys, and the cycle meaning down. So if the cycle breaks, we need to get above this all-time high and continue higher on the overall markets, guys. If it goes up past the 174.56 and 175, 180, 185, and possibly higher, this starts to slide. Gets below the 50 MA, the 250 retrace. I think we're going right down here to fill this gap at 139.26. Then we'll wait for pattern, see if it moves up, and then we'll possibly short again. Big area I'm waiting for, guys, if I were to go long on NVIDIA, will be right here around $102.49. I don't know if we'll get there. Maybe I'll never go long on it. Or, gap window's not bad, 114, and then you have the 200 MA. Let's see what happens in the next couple weeks. See if it does come down. See what kind of pattern starts to set up. Right now it's just a slight pullback. And sidebar, this is a bullish pattern here though, guys. So let's see what happens tomorrow with the weekly close and then the daily close, of course, on a Friday. So NVIDIA though, guys, nothing wrong. Volume did dry up a little bit after earnings. But what a great push up here and another great fade coming in. So let's see if this thing holds right here. Then again, we have a low pivot. Gap fill. We have a big gap fill right here at 133, but here's your target, 118.93 at this point if this starts coming in. All these charts, guys, if they do start falling, targets will be 200 MA on everything. I don't care what stock it is, as long as it's above it, that is. But you get a stretch job like this that far away, it's somewhere, it's coming down here. You got some gaps to fill. We'll see how it sets up. Buy the dip and come in, but if we get some pretty good selling coming up, we'll be at 120. This will curl. This will curl higher, so maybe 120, 125 area. But we're going to see on NVIDIA. But right now, nothing wrong. Still above the 50 and the 200. Let's see if this thing continues higher. Let's look at AMD. So AMD, again, we talked about earnings. Boom, big area here around 1555. Could not get through it. Right back down, guys. Now we're outside of this channel too, which is interesting. And we came down. Nice shot up, ricochet, it's by the dip mentality. We filled the gap though, so we had some really good support here, and it did fill the gap down here too. So 2 gaps it filled, boom, we slingshot right back up. But what do we slingshot in? Big trend line, 50 MA, 20 MA, gap fill. You're going to need a lot more push than that to get through, or better yet, a gap up over it and then continue higher. Didn't get it, couldn't gap it up, boom, right back down. Now we're consolidating like the IWM, down, sideways, below the MAs. This is setting up for lower prices, guys. So basically, bullish, you need to get back above the trend line and the MAs and get back above, let's put this in there now. I want to push this down. See if I can grab that. There you go. So I want to push that down a little bit. So you have that and the 200 MA, guys. This is big as well. So 1187 or so, 1192. That's the 200. But if you keep chopping, 20 MA starts coming in the price. This could go lower. I'm still thinking 10 bucks, 991. But again, 200 MA. We'll see how this holds. If it comes into it, sets up sideways, then I'm thinking more downside. For all I know, it comes down here. You fill this, well, this filled the gap already. We're filled that gap. There's another gap around 1143, and then the low pivot around 1121. So if it does kind of flush through this, let's see if we can fill this gap, get down to this pivot, and then maybe buy the dip to possibly have this thing come back above the 200 and recover, and then try to make a run for the money. So let's keep an eye on this one, and let's see what happens, guys. But right now, slightly bearish below the MAs, setting up to go lower than the 200, but you do have gap fill, and then the slow pivot here at 1122, so be careful. If you're trying to go long this thing and trying to buy the dip, guys, just save some for down in this area just in case. And man, if the markets start going, we're going lower. You know, it's not going to be $6 anymore like I used to say. But if we go to the monthly high flyer, we're looking at 857 right in here. As long as this thing keeps curling up, it's okay. But eventually, if it gets through there, you're going to this high pivot here around 796, $8. So be careful with AMD if you're trying to go long. The markets continue to sell, then AMD, NVDA, Tesla going to continue to go down, guys. All right, let's get into Tesla. Remember, this was a high flyer, 250 or about $100 away from the moving average, 20 moving average on the monthly. So that's big, guys. But you know, had a nice pop up on earnings, consolidating. Remember, though, this is some pretty big selling here, guys. It's like we talked about with the IYT. You get big red candles. When it goes up into those candles of resistance, you better have big green candles. Here it wasn't bad, but that was after earnings. But after that, it just dried up, guys. So now the volume's back to normal. We did, what do we do today? About 5 million, and still above the MA. So strong stance, up, sideways, bullish. Now we're going to draw this in here though too. So now we have a area. So if this goes up into it, we'll know if it could break through that and start going. You know, if we get a trend line breakout. If it does, you're looking at double top here around 386.99, which is the all-time high. Then you're looking at 400. Then you're going even numbers. You know, 410, 420, 425. If it continues up, if this thing starts to slide and get below the MAs again and get the gap window, I think we're going to fill the gap at 618 and right here. Great area for a bounce. I'm going to be waiting a little bit lower, guys. Again, honestly, I'll go long down in here, 280 gap fill. You have another gap fill around 270.23. Just don't get too eager with this one. They can swing this up and down. Right now, it's still slightly bullish, but this little red bar here was pretty nasty. If we gap below, we're probably going to go to 340 tomorrow, maybe lower. If the markets sell, we will be going lower on everything, guys. So be careful with Tesla. I don't care if Elon's running the ship and driving the ship and all that stuff. It's still a stock, still a high flyer. You're still down in this area where you're consolidating back up in an inside bearish pattern. Now you got the high trend line here, so let's see what happens with that. Right now, still above the MAs, still okay. Let's see what tomorrow gives us on the weekly close, and then we'll go into next week and see if some of these patterns start to develop, or we'll see where these things are going. Maybe this thing reverses and goes right back to 400 and then higher. But, man, here's a new trend line. That could be a breakout. If we break out above, confirmed, then higher. If we stay and start going lower, we're going to definitely fill this gap. Little trend line down here, and then ultimately the 304 again, and then possibly lower, like I said. So don't want to beat a dead horse over and over. Just be careful in these markets if you are long. Light share size. Just keep trading. You get profits. You take them. You lock them in. Let the stock come down. Do it again. Rinse and repeat. If you're short in stock, same thing. Slow and steady, guys. So, well, not some. Most of these high flyers that we're picking on are in never land. They have no technicals. They just keep ripping up just because they're whatever stock. Well, it's so and so, blah blah blah, you know, or whatever, you know, like a Baidu or a NVDA. You know, it's NVIDIA, stock of the year. So just be careful with these things, guys. A lot of high flyers. We're going to go over the weekly charts tomorrow, so take a look at that. But again, guys, thank you for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.